play video. I'm trying to do this for Instagram since I haven't been able to post many of these on Instagram without editing my hour-long videos. So if you guys want to check out some of the ones I've posted on YouTube, I invite you to check those out. Let's just keep playing. So this is part 2. Essentially what I was sharing in the last video, so welcome, was that we've outplayed. We're in a higher rate. We're in a higher vibration. We're in a higher frequency. And if you guys are just tuning in, this is all play on words. This is how I play. So essentially we've outcreated a lot of the creations that were created in a distorted field. So I wrote about this before. We are distorting the field. I wrote about it in a blog post, which I'm still working on, but I posted it on carryyvonne.com, and a video that I did on YouTube, which was like an hour and a half long, all these codes to activate, basically to activate us. So if you guys are interested in that, but I wrote, it's called Word Codes, Nodes, and Notes. So essentially what I'm being shown from my guidance team is that, let's say we had a game board and we were given this game board called life. And on this game board called life, we were given an expectancy rate. This is how much you're going to produce. This is how much you're going to grow. This is how long you're going to live. And these are the things that you're allowed to play with. And this is the way, the path in which you're allowed to play the game. There's no deviations. You can, at times, think that you're going off course, but really you're not, because you're interlocked and interwoven in this certain set. So this is the geometry, this is the set that reality is based on. What my guides keep sharing with me is, poof, that isn't true anymore. Some people are still locked into those certain codes because that's what they were given, that's what they were born into, that's what they recognize because of patterns that we have created, grooves that we've gotten into, habits, habitually accumulated nets and frequency patterns that essentially locked us into a particular, what I'm hearing is tribulation. It's a play on words, tribe, organization, right? A certain tributary. So basically that was the code. We broke the code, you guys. And I know for some of us watching or listening, it's like, it doesn't look that way. It doesn't matter what it looks like right now. So the message that keeps coming through is we broke it. Not in a bad way. So I keep hearing this song, Rock It Till the Wheels Fall Off, right? Or who sings that? Snoop Dogg? People ask me, have you heard that song? And I'm like, is it new? And they're like, yeah. And I say, no. Anyways, my point is the wheels, the karmic wheels, the wheels of reality have fallen off. We're not on the same track. We're off track. And this is creating a distortion in the field, which is what we wanted to do. We want to create that distortion in the field so that the old game makers cannot compute. Now, I know I'm kind of speaking in code. I do that a lot. And I'll do a video and maybe break this video down a little bit to keep it simple. But the simplified version is, and I have fun with it, I play with it. So from my perspective, we've knocked the wheels off. And this makes it difficult for the powers that be, right, or that were, is better spoken, for them to control us, for them to control or manipulate the reality that we are in the process of co-creating. Now, I know I went a little polarized there, and I don't usually talk about us versus them, because really it's all coming from the same source if you want to look at it from a very, very multidimensional manner. But many of our friends and family members don't see it that way. They're looking at it like, wow, we are really in a pickle from one perspective. But the way that my guidance team keeps presenting it is, it looks like that because the false systems are so meager. That's the word that I'm hearing, which is eager, meager, me, eager, ego, right? They're hungry. because they're not being fed, because the distortions that they were creating are no longer distorting the field. We are distorting the field. We are distorting the field with our creations. What are our creations? Our creations are workshops, togetherness, meditations, dancing, working with crystals, creating jewelry, creating multidimensional healing tools, scientists that are creating healing tools. You know, we've got the quantum healing beds and Therify, and all of these things are being co-created from the star network of brothers and sisters, and this is essentially out creating the old creations. And so this is outplaying the old system because we've hit another scale. And so what I'm hearing is we've outscaled the scales. So again, you can go back to the first video. I don't remember in this video if I said the football coach, but essentially the game has been won. It doesn't look like that because there's a scramble going on. There's a scramble to scramble. I think that's a play in football. You guys, I don't know sports. Is there a ball involved? But there's a scramble going on to scramble this creative activity and code of conductivity that we're creating. Now, the code of conductivity for us is truth. It's harmony. It's bliss. It's compassion. And all of those codes have increased in such an exponential frequency and exponential rate that they cannot divide and conquer. I'm just in flow right now. They cannot divide and conquer what it is that we are conquering about, because we've all come into an agreement, if you will, from one perspective. I don't have enough time to really go into too much more in this video, but we've all come into agreement. And I keep hearing this reference to airing of the grievances, right? I guess that's like an Italian thing where everybody airs out their grievances and they let them all go, and then they start fresh. But I'm hearing this has to do with aether, the elements. It has to do with grievances. Oh, play on words. So essentially, as we come together and we change our school of thought, we change the directional flow and the directional force, coming together as a unified force in seemingly disproportionate measures. Play on words. Measures in music. It seems like it's disproportionate. There's more of them than there are us, but this is not correct. These configurations are not, I'm hearing they're beyond configuration. So it's beyond conformity. It's beyond the old mathematical conductivity that was utilized before to keep scores, what I'm hearing. So we have changed the score, for we have changed the directional flow and the scoreboard. We've changed the entire alchemical mapping system in such a way that all divisive schematics, divisive schemes, devices that were used to create a divisive or divided schematic are no longer able to interconnect and interconduct and map into our intertunability, our new tonnage, our new encapsulated. So we've created this bandwidth that it's now, I guess, shielded, protected might be a good way to look at it, but it's encapsulated. It's got a membrane. It's fluid, and it's got a shape to it that before was kind of all over the board and very scattered, but I'm hearing it scatter origami, scattered refractability, scattered, I'm hearing like a candle in the wind. So I'm seeing it's a light and it's doing this, but it's encapsulated, so it's holding, it's held. So it's held within a fluidity and a fluid conductivity that is going beyond the perceptibility, the ability to be perceived by the lower coordinates, the lower coordinators, the lower beings that have been coordinating and orchestrating certain events. I'm hearing proclamations. So lots of plays on words. I'm going to kind of end on this note, on this node, in this word code, in this way, and just invite you guys to play and tune in, because it's a different frequency in which we are so, we're so interconnected right now, we just don't even realize it. So my encouragement, and my guidance team encourages me, is to let go of this disarray, this the false scattering, because we are scattered everywhere. The numbers don't add up. So it seems like the numbers don't add up, but they really are, because we are the sum. We are the greater sum of the totality of the all, the tone in all. And I'm hearing negating, Nigual. So, right, the shamans. So we are in this flow right now, and it's really, really beautiful. So, knowing this can sometimes make us realize that we are not alone. Many of us are operating in a much higher frequency and potential than we've ever been operating at before. And recognize the subtleties. So I'm being guided just to end on this note. It may not seem like we are, but there are little things and simplicities that are going to point out the truth. And all of a sudden, we're going to see, when we take a step back and we become that eye of the tornado, and we're going to look around and go, oh, things are really different than they were last year. Things are really different than they were 3 months ago. Even though it may not seem like that, it's massive, you guys. And so have fun co-creating. I'll kind of go into some more flow later. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.